Hello and welcome to episode 78 of Daryl Show Your Work. So, in this episode, I am going to be exploiting a particular vulnerability found that was found in the wild, known as shell shock, and that is specifically CVE 2014-6271. All right, and I'm going to be using this against a Apache web server. All right, so before I do so, I'm gonna just give my disclaimer here that I usually give before any sort of red teaming or offensive security related video. This is for ethical and research purposes only. Any sort of malicious actions that may come from someone, but directly, indirectly from someone watching one of my videos, I do not take responsibility for, nor do I condone. All right, so to give a high level definition of what the shell shock vulnerability is, it's actually a family of vulnerabilities in the bash shell that allow attackers to execute remote arbitrary commands using bash, which then allows them to gain remote access to the target system through a reverse shell. This is caused by bash mistakenly executing trailing commands after a series of characters such as parentheses or brackets, colon, semicolon, colon, and only affect Linux since Windows doesn't utilize bash. All right, so patches for this bash, patches to this bash have been released. And they were released soon after its discovery in September of 2014. So as of now, it's not common, but this is just something just for awareness sakes that the folks to be aware of, because you'd be surprised how many systems are not patched, especially when we start talking about things such as SCADA systems and things such as those. All right, so to get started, first I need to find out what my IP address is. So I'm gonna say ifconfig. All right. So it looks like I'm 192 23 282. All right. So then let's then do a fping to find out, to try to find who else is up and running on my local directories to properly find a target. All right, so I'm going to give it my CIDR address so it could then scan the entirety of my network to see which hosts are up and running. All right, so that's going to be 0/24. All right, and okay, so the gateway is up, which is .1. 2 is up, which is me. So 3 is the lucky target. All right, so I am going to record that here mouse pad, because we are going to be, as usual, be utilizing that address when specifying the target. So I'm going to copy that here and then just replace this 2 with a 3. All right. All right. So the next thing that I want to do is I want to run an nmap scan against our target. And hold on, did I copy that? Let me copy this. All right. So I want to run an nmap scan against our target. All right, and I also want to be able, to enumerate to see if our target is indeed running with port 80 open, and at what version of that HTTP protocol they're running. So in order to do that, I'm gonna start up nmap, say nmap, and then let's do a send scan, and then also a service scan, and we're going to do that against our neighbor here. All right, at .3. All right, let's just give it a few seconds. All right, so it looks like that port 80 is indeed open and is running an Apache HTTPD 2.4.6. All right, so let's make a visit to that site and let's see what's there. All right, so let's do HTTP :// and paste the target address. All right. All right. So it looks like it's under construction, but we can see that that it has a counter there as far as um, how long it will be until this how long it will be a countdown of when it will be alive and online. All right, so one thing we want to try to look for is something that we can exploit a particular directory that contains just this element of this page, this counter. All right, so I'm going to right click it and view page source. All right, so now I'm looking at the code here as far as the source code of the web page. And if I come down here, I can see a get method and also a particular directory that where it's pulling that timer from. All right, so it's pulling it from a separate directory called gettime.cgi. All right, so let's make a visit. Let's pay a visit there and see if we're able to access that directory. All right, go back here and let's add that on to our URL. And bam, we're able to get there. All right. So the next thing, now that I know that that is pulling this particular counter from a different directory, it's actually calling that from a directory. It kind of gives me a hint that that it's allowing it allows some sort of remote call. The remote calls are allowed. All right. So I want to further test the susceptibility specifically to the shell shock um, vulnerability. So in order to do that, I'm going to use nmap scripting engine, and it has a particular script that's written for be able to detect the presence specifically of the shell shock vulnerability. All right, so in order to do that, I'm gonna use nmap again, and I'm gonna run a service scan. All right, then I'm gonna point it at. Let me go back here, copy this again. All right. I'm appointed at our target host. All right. And then I'm gonna say dash dash script to specify the script within nmap scripting engine I want to use. And I'm gonna say http, and then we want to use the dash shell shock script. All right. And then I want to specify some arguments here. So I want to say script dash args. Let me see. I shouldn't have done that. Okay. There we go. All right. Then quotes. It's HTTP dash shell shock. All right. And then I have to do URI. Then I have to specify exactly what directory I want to aim this at. And we're going to aim this at that get time directory. All right. Since we know that that's where it's remotely being where that timer is remotely being called. All right. All right, end quote. Okay, so just checking my syntax here, making sure there's no misspellings. Oh, okay, I got script-args twice here, so let's get rid of that. All right. All right, so nmap's running and it should return back to me whether or not this this directory is vulnerable. So bam, and we can see vulnerable, and we see a state vulnerable, exploitable, and it gives the CVE number, which is our CVE, the shell shock CVE, and we can see that is indeed susceptible to shell shock vulnerability. So now it's time to exploit this. All right, so going back here to the browser, the first thing I want to do is I have a FoxyProxy extension installed on this browser. So I'm going to start that up. All right. And I'm going to enable the Burp Suite Zap proxy on it. All right. And now I now want to start up Burp Suite. All right. So going over here to Burp Suite. And just to give a brief overview of what Burp Suite is basically Burp Suite allows the capturing of get or put methods within HTTP traffic, and it allows me to modify that traffic, those requests that come in. It allows me to modify those requests, and I can do some malicious actions when capturing those requests. So think of Burp Suite as kind of like a man in the middle type of tool that I can utilize to alter HTTP traffic. All right, so I say okay. I'm gonna go over here to proxy. All right, so I see that my interceptor is on. All right, so then I'm going to generate some traffic here for Burp Suite since I have that in my proxy, my proxy extension on here within the browser. So I'm gonna hit enter. All right, so we have some traffic. All right, so taking a look at everything that's going on here, I am going to right click this and send this to the repeater. All right, so remember those special characters when I was given that overview about what special characters can be used to really exploit the vulnerability of um, of um, of the shell shock vulnerability. So I'm going to be entering those in. All right, so let's see. First, I'm gonna enter them in for the purpose of just testing, and then and then once I see that that I could successfully be able to run that, then I'm really going to try to run an exploitation here. So I'm gonna do those. All right, so I'm gonna do those parentheses. All right, and then I'm gonna do. Let's see, brackets, and then we're gonna say colon, semicolon, brackets, all right, and then semicolon, right, then we say echo, semicolon, echo, semicolon, and then let's see, slash, then bash, right there, dash C, all right, and then this is where I specify where I want to aim it at. So I'm going to aim it at at the at the pass WD directory, which houses basically all of our users. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this to enumerate all the user accounts on this HTTP server. But this is not the true exploitation here. This is just me just testing to see if the exploitation works. And basically from and I'm going to use that as a way to enumerate what's in the server there, and then I'm going to run a true exploitation once I find that that either is successful or non-successful. All right, so just looking at my syntax here. Okay, I should be good to go. All right, so I replaced the user agent, all right, with these special characters. All right, and this portion specifically right here is what's going to cause the exploitation. All right, so I'm going to send a packet. All right, so let me check my syntax here. Give me a moment. Okay. Okay, I see where I potentially screwed up here. All right, let's try that again. There we go. All right, need to add some spaces there within this portion. All right, so we can see that once I sent that packet on, all right, I when I specified this particular location within the backend web server, I was able to enumerate all the user accounts. All right, so we could see that root account, we could see the daemon account, we could see the games account, uh, www dot excuse me www-data account. Um, Looking for an admin. Don't really see any admin accounts, but I mean a root account. I mean it's pretty much. I mean it's really all I would need to do some serious damage. So I could see what accounts here. So if I wanted to further, if let's say I wanted to brute force attack this web server, they've already given me the user names here that I could use, and I would just really just need a password list. But again, this was just a test just to see, just to be able to test out the susceptibility. Now I'm going to run the actual exploit here. All right. So in order to do that, first I'm gonna go back to my terminal here, and I'm gonna set up a netcat listener. All right. So we're gonna say nc. All right, then we're going to turn on the listener and the CV for proposed. All right, and then we want to see listener, then P, then we need to specify the port 1234. All right, let me see. Oh, hold on. Ah, this sorry, keyboard error there. There we go. All right. So going back into Burp Suite here. All right, so I need to make some adjustments to everything after C here. All right, so this time I'm going to say dash bash. All right, and then dash. All right, I greater than the ampersand, and then we're going to aim this at slash dev TCP. All right, and then I want to give it, let me go back here, give it my IP address. Ask, I have to specify the listening address in here. So copy, and I'll explain what this command is going to do. Just give me a minute here. There we go. So let's change that to a 2. All right. And then let's see. Then it's going to be listening on 1, 2, 3, 4. Right. 0 greater than ampersand 1. All right. End quote. Okay. So what this is going to do, it's going to basically set up if this runs successfully, it should set up a reverse shell or a bash shell and allow me to start a shell session within this web server. All right, so it's going to put me directly into the machine, and I'll be able to run commands within that web server. It's not just simple enumeration anymore. Now I'm breaking in doing this. All right, so I'm going to send this, and let's see if we could break in. One thing I want you to pay attention to: the results aren't going to be on this side. They're actually going to be over here to our lower left, to where that netcat listener is running. So I'm gonna send it. Bing. All right, there we go. So right here, I have a session going on. So I'm gonna show you that I actually can run commands here, and I'm actually inside of that server. All right. So I'm gonna say, who am I? It tells me I'm the daemon account. All right. And let's say I wanted to know the operating system. All right. So let's say cat, the Etsy. This is going to display the contents of the Etsy asterisk issue directory. All right, and that's going to come back and tell me what the operating system is. All right, so I've done some more enumeration here. So now I can see they're running Ubuntu 14.04.6. All right, let's say I wanted to know what the kernel version was. All right, if I wanted to know that for the sake of, let's say I just wanted to completely destroy their system and wanted to find something that targets that particular kernel. Okay, so I'm gonna say /a, uname, dash a. All right, and this gives me the kernel information. All right, so this allows me to do more enumeration in here, and I could just run more commands in here if I wanted just to dig deeper into what's actually in here. A list command, and this when I did that list command, now we can see that get time .cgi file or directory, excuse me, that they're pulling the time from. All right. So let's say that though, I went through all of these steps, and let's say that I wanted to do something to more automate this process. I didn't want to take this many steps to do this. Well, there's a way to do that, and of course, the way to do that is using the Metasploit framework. All right. So in order to do that, I'm going to open up another terminal here. All right, and I'm going to start up the PostgreSQL server, and then the Metasploit framework. All right, let's start that up. All right, so I'm gonna say workspace dash. We're gonna call this workspace shell. Okay, we're gonna create a specific workspace to conduct this activity in. So we're just gonna call this workspace shell, and then we're gonna make sure. All right, just we're in that workspace, and sometimes it's good just to check on the status of the database. So we're going to do database status, and we're still connected, which is good. All right, so now I'm going to set our target as a global parameter, so that way I don't have to continue to set it within any module that I choose here as far as running this same exploitation. All right, so I'm gonna paste our target here. All right, so that's set globally. So any module that I choose is already going to set that as the R host or the remote host. All right, now I want to look through the Metasploit framework and find exploit modules that are specific to shell shock. So in order to do that, I'm going to say search shell shock. All right, we have just a few here. So let's see. I'm gonna scroll up a little bit. All right, so I'm going to use this second one, which is has a one ID, but is actually the second on the list. But I'm going to use this particular this particular module because it operates most closely to the manual exploitation that I just did. All right, so let's scroll down here, and I'm gonna say use one. All right. So let's go to show options to see if there's any parameters I need to set. And there appears to be a few. Let's check on our host to make sure that's already set for us, which it should be. All right, and it is. All right, so there's a few things I need to set. So right here with target URI, I need to specify that cpath to CGI script. I need to specify where that get time CGI script is is located. So I need to give it that particular directory to target because I've already given it our remote host. Now it just needs to be able to find specifically where that CGI script is located, and it's located in that directory. And then I also scrolling down here a little bit more, I need to change the L host and for it to basically which is the listening host, and I need to be able to give it my particular IP address, and we can leave the excuse me, the L port alone. We can leave it at 444. All right, so I'm gonna say set target URI. We're gonna set that path to slash get time dot CGI. All right, so that's a directory it's going to be targeting. All right, and then I'm going to say set L host. All right, let's give it, change that to a 2 since we're using my IP address as a listening host. All right, so I think those are the only two parameters that I needed to set. So let's exploit this and let's see if it works. It looks like the interpreter session is already open. All right, we have a interpreter session. So let's just try to run some basic commands here. So I'm gonna say, um, let's see, system info, sysinfo. All right, then get UID. All right, so we doing the same enumeration here. We got our account name, we got our operating system name. So if I wanted to just straight up go inside the system shell, and now I'm inside the system. If let's say CD, let's say C colon. Let's see. Hold on, give me a moment. So I should be able to go. Let's see there. All right, so we could see the get time .cgi in there. Let's see. See, I should be able. I'm trying to go back here to the root directory. Let's see. Let's try this. Ah, there we go. Okay, and then let's do dir. All right, then we can see all the different type of directories from the home directory, actually the home directory since we're in Windows, and so we can see everything that's not just in the C drive, but that's a little further back in the C drive. And so I mean, this is so basically I showed us how we can then exploit shell shock using Burp Suite and also using a Metasploit framework. So to give a quick overview of what was done here. So basically, I targeted. I used the IP ifconfig, of course, to find out what my IP address was, and then once I did that, I used the nmap, excuse me, I'm sorry, the fping to be able to identify any other machine that was within my local network that was up. Found one, then ran the nmap against it to basically see if port 80 was open, what variation of HTTP it was running. Found out that that port was indeed running, and it was running an Apache server. I visited the site, found that it was using a counter, and a counter is usually a common file that it uses, the CGI. So I looked at the page source and saw that it was actually calling from a remote, calling from a different directory to for that timer to appear on the page. Went one layer up within the directory, found that directory, and then once I did that, I scanned that directory using an nmap with a specific um, script within the nmap scripting engine to be able to find that it was susceptible to a shell shock, the shell shock CVE in specific. So once I was able to find that out, then I opened up a Burp Suite, made sure that our proxy configured properly on our browser, captured the traffic, generate some more traffic to capture within our interceptor within Burp Suite, modified that traffic to first to see if I could do some simple enumeration, which I enumerated as past WD directory to basically see all the user accounts on there. And then once I found out I was able to do that, then I took it a step further, opened up a netcat listener session, and then took that same traffic, modified the user agent again within that traffic within inside of Burp Suite to then to basically to send a to start a shell excuse me, to start a bash session on that machine, which indeed it did work because of those special characters that was allowed to pass, that those parentheses and brackets with the semicolon in it. That's what allowed me to do that. And once I was in the system, I was able to run the usual um, commands within that system. So then I took us into the Metasploit framework, showed us some ways we could do this even faster by looking for a particular a specific module that was aimed at executing that shell shocked exploitation, and found it, set similar parameters as far as targeting that directory that had that gettime.cgi file in it, and giving it basically my IP address as the listening address. And then once I did that, I was able to get pretty much the same results that I got in doing that manually with using Burp Suite. All right, so the main lesson to walk away from this with is to always patch your vulnerabilities. So once you're alerted that, hey, that there's some vulnerabilities, there's some things within your especially within your web server that you need to patch those immediately. I mean, it's been like now 11 years now, so someone shouldn't be walking around with a 11-year-old vulnerability, but you'd be surprised some people do. And so, but if this was 11 years ago or even 10 years ago, this should be patched immediately. So this is not exploited in the way that I just showed us it could be exploited. So please like, subscribe, and share. Most importantly, show your work. Until next time, take care.